Hello again, and thank you for joining Jeff and Jelly's Classic Restorations. Well, we're back with the Jaguar again. As I mentioned, I was going to do this for a couple of episodes because I can't really show you much on the Velo Solix at the moment due to there's no sign of it in there. It's just bits everywhere, so it all needs to be powder coated and all that. So I'll try and get on and do some of that when I get a chance. But as you remember with the Jaguar, there was a what do they call it, a restricted performance. It kept coming up on the dashboard in red, and the DPF light is staying on red as well. So because of this, I thought a vacuum leak in here. I used a smoke machine. I'll show it to you properly in a minute, but there didn't appear to be any leaks. But when I took out one of the sensors to put the smoke down, the sensor was absolutely caked in dirt, black. So I cleaned all that out, started it up again, and that fault code hasn't come back. So I'm hoping that sensor might have cured the fault with that. So I was going to do this next week, but I might actually do it today now. I'm back to work tomorrow for 7 days, but my son's had an accident in his car again now, so I've got to try and do that. So if I can get this done today, that will save me doing it next week. So what we've got is this Normfest DPF100, and it goes into the DPF filter underneath, and you've got to find some hole to stick it in, usually one of the sensors, but we'll have a look when we get under there. And I'm not looking forward to doing this, but this is it's supposed to be very good stuff. This costs about 37 on eBay, but I've seen it for 70 as well. So hopefully this will sort the DPF out. But I didn't want to do the DPF until I'd made sure we're okay here. Well, I started it and everything, and it's that fault has gone at the moment. So I'm going to try and today have a go getting underneath, and we'll try and see if we can sort the DPF filter out. All being well, then we'll go for a little drive and see if we can clear that. Well, first of all, I'll just quickly show you this. This is what I was going to use for the vacuum leak. I was going to get one a bit more expensive than this, which had the little generator to make the smoke inside a compressor. But in the end, I'm still waiting for my vouchers for 20 years on the railway. As most things on the railway, it's delayed. So I bought this one slightly cheaper. It was about £60, something like that. It does work great. Unfortunately, you know, you've got your leads here to plug onto the battery, but on this one the battery's in the back, and I didn't want to use the MG Electric's battery because I really don't want to interfere with that. So what I'm going to do, as I say, I'm going to try and get on and do this DPF filter now, and what I was using was a battery pack, the jump starter pack. Unfortunately that's pretty useless, and died within 5 minutes, so that's hardly going to start any cars, is it? So that's on charge at the moment. We're going to have a go at the DPF filter, and then I'll come back and hopefully that problem is sorted down there. But what we'll do, I'll show you how it works anyway. It's very good, but there wasn't any vacuum leaks. So I did find that one sensor just over here, that one there. Took that out, absolutely gummed up with black muck. So I cleaned it all out, and that fault hasn't come back, so it's not in restricted performance at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'll get the car jacked up, and I'm going to do the horrible job of getting underneath it and see where we can pump this spray in. Well, unfortunately the first thing I had to do was get this blooming under tray off. One good thing is you find some of your lost screwdrivers that have fallen down, but this is a bit awkward, certainly more awkward getting it back on your own. So we had to get that off to get to the DPF filter. So let's get underneath and see what we can do with that. Oh, before I grovel underneath, I'll just quickly show you this. As you know, I'm a fan of Evolution tools, and I saw this one on Amazon, I think it was, and it's really bright. You've got two settings, just normal, and then you've got a brighter one, and this just swivels, so you can actually get it sits down nicely and gets to where you want. And of course, if you run out of battery, which they do last a long time anyway, I've had no trouble with this. You can just slip a new one on and off you go again. So hopefully this will be useful doing this filter. So just a little plug for Evolution tools, very good. I find that so useful. Well, here we are underneath where I don't want to be. So there's the DPF filter. I'm going to have to get a lot closer to it to find out where to connect this little hose for the cleaner. So let me find somewhere and I'll get back to you. You know, I shouldn't really be doing this at my age. I might be 58, but I'm too old for this. Anyway, there's a couple of sensors there. That's the one. Looks better to get at. Just a screw, a spanner on there, and hopefully we can get the hose into there. That little thing from the DPF cleaner. So hopefully that will come out. And obviously I haven't got any room to show you, but I'll get that out, and then we move on from there. Well, here we are, about an hour later. Still no luck with this. I don't know if you can see, I've tried getting that one out, that's stuck firm. The little one is also stuck firm. I've tried heating it, and I've literally run out of ideas. The only thing I can think of now is to get this, cut this blue one far back as possible, and then hopefully I can get a socket on that, which may, if I haven't damaged that too much, we can maybe get a little bit of leverage on it. So as I say, it's nothing's ever easy, is it? You just take that off, you pump the stuff in, and off you go. So I'm going to have to look down that line now, probably cut this blue wire with 2 in there, cut this back, resolder it again, and then hopefully that we might be able to get a socket on there to try and get that off. So off we go again, and I'll see you again soon. Well, after that mucking about, that finally worked. Got the socket on there, just about went in, and I just loosened that off now. So I'll give that a good clean in a minute, and obviously once I've done this, I've got to resolder the 2 wires together again further up. So we'll get on with this DPF cleaner and see how we get on. Right, I've got this spray now, this DPF cleaner, and apparently unfortunately it doesn't quite fit in that hole, which is a shame. So I bet it's all going to come out. But what I've got to do is get that in there, and you have to give it 3, 4, 5 or 6 squirts, wait 5 seconds apart until the can's empty. So in case this goes all over the place, I'll just try once, but I bet it goes everywhere. Here we go. But anyway, let me get on and do this, and I'll come back to you. Okay, I'll clean that up. That's now back in tight now, that sensor. So of course, after doing that, I've now got to oh, there we go. I've got to now feed this back through the sheath, and I'm going to have to solder these back together. I use the heat shrink one, and then wrap it up even better. But once we got this joined up again, then we can start it up. We're supposed to run it for 15 minutes on its just on its own, and then later on take it for a run. But as I say, I've got to get back to doing this again. But as I say, I'll still be mucking around trying to get that out if I didn't cut this wire. So let me get this soldered up, and I'll be back to you. Right, finally out from under there. What a bloody nightmare. You know, look at all the tools I've got to clear up. So I've taken it down off the jack now. I'm not going to put the underbelly back on just yet. I'm not going to go out in the rain or anything anyway, but I don't want to put that back until I know everything's fine. It's a right old pain to get on your own, but we'll leave that for now. What I'm going to do, what I've got to do is start it up. We'll leave it running for 15 minutes. Once I've done that, we'll leave it running, and hopefully I can show you this. Well, there wasn't any leaks anyway, but I can show you how this little steam thing works, or smoke, what do they call it? Smoke detector. That's it. So we'll get it started, leave it running 15 minutes, and then we'll have a quick look at this smoke detector. Right, there we go. Engine running now. 15 minutes on that. There's Jenny, a bit worried. She's thinking I might possibly go somewhere. But we'll take it for a run later, won't we, darling? Yeah, it's a bit rush hour at the moment. So I'll just show you this. I just told it's an Ansel S100. It's got some air going into it now for the compressor. Just waiting for it to heat up. And the valve is closed. Just around the back here, you've got little light, so it's heating. And what I'm actually using is this battery pack, which is pretty useless, just to give it power, because the battery's around the back on the Jaguar. So just give it a little while, warm up, and I'll show it working. Right, there we go, it's up to heat now. You get a lovely flow of smoke out of it. And as I say, I tested it earlier on, there was no leaks, and then I found a dirty sensor. So basically you just plug it into a hole somewhere, you can find all sorts of leaks, and it'll come out of where there's a leak. So that should be pretty useful, maybe for motorbikes and the cars. So I just thought I'd show you that one whilst we wait for this to run for 15 minutes. And then later on tonight, I'll take it out for a run. We'll wait for the rush hour to go, it'll be dark, but when I come back, I'll let you know how it's gone. Well, here we go now. Had dinner now, a bit of a rest. Jenny's had her dinner, had a walk. It's just gone 7 now, so we're going to go for a little run down the motorway, and this is the final stage of this cleaning. If it doesn't work, well, then I'll just have to give up. But I'll let you know how we get on. About 20 miles each way down the motorway in a minute, and hopefully that'll be enough to clear it out. But if not, as I say, we'll just have to see what we can do. But anyway, I'll see you once we get back. Well, finally back. Not very good news really. It's still got the restricted performance that came back on again, and when I got to the end of the motorway bit, I went up, I reset it again, that went off. So I'm trying to drive it carefully, but unfortunately it came back on again. And the only good thing, and I think this I think it's worked as the actual DPF cleaner. I think it's very good, because when I first started it before we left, it actually came up orange briefly, which is more of a caution than the red. So I do recommend the actual DPF cleaner, but one of my subscribers did mention that he had the same problem, cleaned out the DPF filter, but still had the couple of the warnings on different banks. I have to make a note of them again and look into it, but I might have to try the smoke test again. But considering one of those sensors was completely clogged up, maybe it's a problem with something to do with a sensor or something. But at least I know the DPF is clean. There was loads of, when I first went off and everything, I got my neighbour to rev it, and loads of black muck coming out the back. So it's definitely worked, and so I do recommend it. But I need to get this other problem sorted first. So apologies that it didn't really end up right. It just needs a bit more work, and I'm sure we'll have it right. But at least the DPF is clean. So anyway, here's Jenny Girl, been out for a ride. So on behalf of Jenny Girl in the back there and myself, you have a very good night, and please take care. Goodbye for now.